All right. Hey, what's going on, pretty ladies and smooth gentlemen? Welcome to the Cool Podcast with the Cool Brother. I'm Malik, the Cool Brother, and this is a special edition of the podcast. I'm here at the Black Tea Brown Sugar Network. Yes, this is a special edition episode of the podcast, and my special guest is a good brother. He's very talented. He's bringing the baritone back into R&B. That's what's missing in today's R&B music. He's a returning guest. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you the baritone brother himself, Mr. Barbados Black. Welcome.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for having me. Welcome.
No doubt, no doubt. So won't you tell the listeners once again who you about and what you do?
Hey, what's up? For those who don't know me, I'm Barbados Black, just Barbados. Y'all can find me anywhere at Barbados Black everywhere. I'm a graphic designer. I love doing cover art. I love doing anime artwork, any type of black art. Most recently, I got into painting as well. So if you need a painting, hit me up. I do acrylic paints. I'm actually going to start teaching pretty soon. I haven't told anybody yet that, so I'll be teaching some painting classes. So definitely DM me for that as well. But most importantly, I'm an R&B singer more than anything.
Yes, yes. And check out, and speaking of painting, check out his YouTube page. You know, I'll subscribe to it. This brother, he is the man. If you want cover art, hit this brother up. I got couple singles that has cover art courtesy of this brother right here. So he is the man. You want cover art, hit this man up. Barbados Black, he is the man, no doubt.
Oh, facts, I appreciate it.
No doubt. So let's start with how did you get involved with music? What inspired you to do what you do?
I think I was just always inspired by music. Like I always say, like as long as I can remember, I was always like singing music. I was always performing. Like nobody in my family that I can remember is even like a performer. Mm-hmm. It's just something that I think I've always liked just the time I've seen it. It's just something that draws me.
Yeah. Okay. And who are your influences as far as music is concerned, R&B or etc.?
It's a lot of like 90s artists, I would say, because I just feel like when they would dance or when they would sing, I love to hear those type of voices, like really big singers like Aretha Franklin's voice. I thought that was crazy. Like hearing somebody sing like Usher or Joe, like those types of voices are crazy. Like real harmonies, like groups like Drew Hill or Destiny's Child. Like I love blends and layers, and I just think hearing real voices it speaks to me.
Yes, yes. And speaking of Joe, every time this brother performs, he always do an acapella, all the things your man won't do every time. And he sounds great with that baritone, rich baritone bass voice. So yes, I love it. No doubt, no doubt. Mm-hmm. And now we you know, you are a baritone singer, and speaking of baritone singers, who's your favorite ones that stand out for you?
It's funny because I didn't even know I was a baritone for a while. So initially when I first started trying to sing, I would sing lighter. But then when I got in the choir, they were like, oh, your voice is like super deep. You're a deep singer. So they taught me how to sing lower. So to be honest, I haven't got to hear any too many deep singers until fairly recently. Like I would say like there's a new singer. His name is like Khalid. Yes. His voice I would say is like a lower voice, like similar to mine. But there aren't too many baritones. And that's why I think it's important for my music, especially because I feel like there's more lower voices, but we just don't get shown as much, I don't feel like.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. Why do you think that is?
I just feel like there's not too many. Like I said, most songs are just written in certain keys, and it's just certain appeal to certain voices, I think, in general. But like if you look at like Barry White, like he has a lower voice, and John Legend is technically, when I looked up the research, they say he's technically a baritone. But I just think a lot of the music we just are used to hearing has a lighter feel. But I think that's why I like to make the music I make, because I make ballads, I make a lot of power vocals. You know what I mean? I like to sing with my full voice, and it's heavier. And I think bringing that type of music and that type of feeling is what's missing a lot of times today.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And my next question is, how would you describe your music?
Honestly, I just say it's authentic to me. It's more of a real expression of how I feel, because a lot of people say I'm not really someone who's very emotional. Even I don't consider myself very emotional, but it's more so how I would release anything that I'm feeling. It's kind of telling people like, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be different. You know what I mean? I don't try to follow the same patterns as everybody else, but it's also just making sure you're authentic to yourself.
Yeah, that's the key. You know, be authentic to yourself, and you are indeed authentic to yourself, good brother. That. No doubt, no doubt. And now speaking of your music, I remember the last time we talked on the first episode we did together.
Yeah,
it's been a while. My goodness. Yeah, I think it was 2021. Sheesh, man.
That's what I said.
Time goes by fast, my man. But you describe your music as alternative R&B. Now that's a genre. So won't you tell the listeners what is alternative R&B for those who don't know?
Sure. For me, alternative R&B is like there's regular R&B, I would say like contemporary classical R&B where you hear like with a lot of pianos and you hear with more traditional instruments, but a lot of the R&B I make usually has a blend. It'll have a lot of piano bases, but it'll also have like maybe some house instruments that are synthesized into pop instruments, or I like to bring in elements of rock or other elements of country. Just I like to have elements of a lot of different sounds of music, and especially alternative music like alternative rock and stuff like that. So it's just bringing those types of elements together and creating like a different soundscape within the R&B field.
Okay. And speaking of alternative, do you have any favorite artists in the alternative field, like other genre of music?
Well, number one right now, I'll say like aside from, it used to be Lana Del Rey. Like I loved her music because it was just very, like I said, I like stuff that doesn't sound like everything. When I first heard her music, it was authentic. It had lyrics that I felt like were true to her and true to her story. I think something like that's crazy. Obviously, The Weeknd, when I first heard his like trilogy album, that was crazy. And SZA, she just got all those Grammys. Like I said, her album, like the song she literally just won a Grammy for, I believe it's called Ghost in the Machine. That's what I mean. It's like, that's alternative R&B right there. Those has rock elements, has pop elements, but it's still considered an R&B song. That's kind of how I feel like my music sits in that type of soundscape.
Yeah, okay. And you know, you mentioned The Weeknd. I could see you doing some songs by The Weeknd in his voice. You know,
he's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I could see it because he kind of has your style and presentation as far sound wise, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I feel like he's one of the people I feel like ushered that in, so that's more credit to him, because I feel like one of the times where I feel like I was starting to get into music into college is when I started hearing him, and that's around the time where I finally bought my own like equipment, because I've been mixing myself. And so around the time I feel like I bought my equipment, I was probably listening to like The Weeknd, I was listening to Lana Del Rey, I was listening to like Kanye West, I was listening to a lot of different things that I think ultimately did influence me to go more alternative, I think. Okay, nice.
And you just recently dropped your new song called Yeah, and I got a taste of it at the Shared Sessions, which I hosted, by the way. It was great. You know,
that was crazy.
I performed, and so did he. And so did you, good brother. And let's talk about that. So how did you came up with the concept Yeah?
Okay, that's fun. So I grew up, like I was just telling the mayor at the mayor's office for my artwork, I grew up on the east side, and when I grew up, I was coming up in middle school, I used to always go to parties. My bro would always drag me outside the house to go to parties, and we would have like basement parties. And we would always dance to songs like Donk and like Young Jock and stuff like that. And I just feel like all these days, every time we go out, people are like, oh, nobody's ever dancing, nobody dances anymore. But one of the things that I feel like on my set that I always bring is like that dance energy, that fun energy. I always try to get the people moving. And that song is kind of just indicative of that. It's not something that I feel like I wanted to be like, oh, this is meant to be lyrical, or this is meant to be like a profound song. But this is something I just want people to be like, let's dance no matter what. You know what I mean? I want to bring that back. And I just want people to go to the clubs and dance a little bit. So it's that type of
Yeah, you know what? And I'm glad you mentioned that, man, because I posted a stat on Facebook not too long ago about some people attending clubs and they don't be dancing. They're just standing around, like be on their social media taking selfies. I'm like, well, what the hell y'all doing in the club and y'all dance? If it continues to go like this, clubs won't even exist.
Exactly.
So, you know, so why do you think some people don't dance no more?
Like I said, it's really the music. I feel like people don't understand how much music matters, and sometimes people like, I can understand people like, oh, maybe there's too much auto-tune on this song or that song, but people don't understand like the type of stuff that people want to dance to is a lot of times going to be upbeat. It's going to be fun sounding, and if we don't have a lot of that music, a lot of people these days like the music that we listen to, not everywhere, but it's either slow or it's either like about, you know, drilling and stuff. I don't listen to a lot of like hip hop, so I don't listen to a lot of rap. I listen to some rap songs, like some rappers that I like, but I don't listen to a lot of hip hop. I listen to a lot of pop music, which is like all about dancing. And then I love the 80s, and that's about dancing 80s, with tears in your eyes. So I bring that type of vibe to my R&B and hip hop, and I try to bring that energy back to make it lighthearted and fun. I don't try to make anything too heavy. So I think if we make more lighthearted and fun music and bring that in there, that's why I like Sexy Red so much, because it's not so much, oh, take this serious. It's about just turning up and having fun, and it gets people dancing, and I think that's what people need. Yeah,
that's right. And you mentioned 80s, you know, pop, you know. I'm a fan of 80s. I'm an 80s baby myself. But speaking of the 80s, who are your favorite 80s artists?
I love Pat Benatar.
Oh, yeah.
I love singing like Love is a Battlefield. I listen to like Blondie every day.
Debbie Harry,
I'm starting to get into Prince. My bro Shells has put me on Prince, actually, because I haven't listened to a lot of Prince growing up. Obviously, Michael Jackson. Oh, yeah, definitely. But I'm starting to get into Prince because a lot of my lyrics on some of my songs are pretty explicit. And he was like, if you listen to Prince, he was like, you and him have a lot of similarities with the lyrics. And I'm listening to him like, oh, this is crazy. Like, we kind of do. So it's like, I'm kind of going back and doing a lot of research to kind of understand the legends and people who came before me, so I can understand, so I can do it correctly.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you mentioned legendary artists Prince and LMJ and Pat Benatar and Blondie, Debbie Harry, and the rest of the gang. So yeah, 80s. It was, you know, it was a good carefree, fun time as far as music. You know, speaking of LMJ, they just, I don't know if you've seen it, they just did a documentary on Thriller 40th anniversary. So I'm still currently watching that, and
that's dope.
Yeah, and there was, you know, the people that was had a hand in making the album was talking about how, you know, Mike was in there, you know, writing down the lyrics and putting the songs together, and like one in particular, Beat It, you know, classic joint. It wouldn't be considered a R&B song because it got guitars. It was considered a rock song, and Eddie Van Halen from Van Halen, God rest his soul, he played guitar solo on it. So just seeing those two artists come together from different worlds, coming together and making a classic hit like Beat It, it was like, wow, you know, Thriller to me is still, yeah, no doubt, Thriller is still the greatest album of all time, in my opinion. So, you know, nothing can top Thriller in my eyes. Yeah, no doubt. So my next question is, how do you get involved with artwork, like painting? Because you know, I mentioned this when the last time we did the episode. It's just like an array of colors. It's very colorful, very lively and bright. And how did you get into that? For the listeners that don't know.
I appreciate that. I've always been into art. For as long as I remember, I've always been into coloring books. And I think I just got to like that age where my family was just like, all right, you're too old to have coloring books. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just figure out how to color. So I started trying to draw as a way to try to color. And I just developed my drawing. And even when I was in like kindergarten and stuff, like a lot of the paintings I made would get entered into art shows. So I've kind of always been, I guess, like had like a knack for design in a way. And I think it's just something that I just kept with and kept going with. But most recently, I got into painting physically again, and that's been crazy because I just started this summer. I was painting with Kyle Holbrook. A big shout out to him, and big shout out to Flash J, because he was the one who told me to like submit my artwork. And that was the first mural I've ever created. It was the first like piece, and it's about as tall as I am. And you know I'm pretty tall. And the whole mural is as tall as I am. And then we did the whole basketball court, and he did the whole thing. And it was just like, that's crazy. And so now to fast forward to today, I'm painting, and I'm getting to show paintings like at the mayor's office, and I have artwork hanging like the mayor's office and stuff. It's been a crazy process, but I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, no doubt. Congrats on that.
I appreciate it.
That's very huge. You know, having your painting at the mayor, Mr. Ed Gainey's office, that's very huge, crazy. Very huge. So with your paintings and your artwork, what is like your masterpiece, or you felt like you haven't created your masterpiece, or better yet, what is your favorite that you did in the past or in the present as far as your artwork and painting?
I try not to really have a favorite because I'm always trying to get better. I'm very critical of my artwork. I don't know how to explain it in a way. It's like I'm just always want to be better than I was. I always feel like there's new skills to learn. I'm one of those people who's always researching. So even while I'm painting, I'm watching videos on YouTube of somebody who I feel like is painting, trying to learn what tips I can learn, trying to see how can I make this better, how could I apply something better. So I try not to have necessarily like one masterpiece because I ever want the next thing to do be better than the thing I did before that. You know what I mean? Right. Especially with me trying to market artwork, I always want the next thing I do to be better than the last thing. So I try to just strive to be better technically with my skills and not necessarily aspire for it to be like a masterpiece, but at least to be technically sound and from a design standpoint make sense, at least to the audience. Got you.
Understandable. Now, my next question is, you know, Pittsburgh is very like a majority speaking, a very like hip hop town, hip hop scene. Why do you think that R&B in the city and the 412 don't get the props that it truly deserves, in your opinion?
I honestly think that hip hop is just the predominant sound right now, and that's why I said like even with why people aren't dancing as much, a lot of the music I feel like it's just that we've been listening to for a while has just been hip hop, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because for a while hip hop, you know, was looked down upon. But I think now we're just getting to a point where we're ready to hear some other music and other stuff, and I think, you know, like I said, I'm happy to be a part of the resurgence of that. But ultimately, I just feel like it was just a product of just a time. You know, everything has its cycle. Everything comes in and out for a reason. But I think, like I said, with R&B for a long period of time, it was phased out. There was pop music and then EDM, which I love, but that was phased out. And then a lot of the black artists went away with that. But bigger voices are starting to come back. Like I'm starting to meet people every day whose voices are insane, and I'm like, oh, your voice is nuts. Like I have a vocal coach. Her name was Tina James. I was working with her. Her voice is crazy. My other vocal coach, Quinto Smith, his voice is nuts. So it's like I just get to like work and see so many like R&B singers who I feel like have these really big voices, and that's why I said I'm working on developing my voice, because I have a really big, deep voice. Now that these voices are coming back out, people are starting to want to hear them. Like when I play my ballads for the DJs, they're like, oh, this is what we want to hear. This is what we need more of. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. I just think for a while people were afraid to embrace their feelings, but now we're getting to a place where people want to heal, they want to move on, and R&B is a big part of that. I feel like.
No question about that. No question about that. And shout out to Tina James. You know, she's a dope vocalist. She's a beast on the vocal tip. You know,
crazy.
You know, follow her on every major streaming platform: Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, whatever. You know, everywhere. She's dope. She's dope. She's real dope. I think she's coming out with something real soon. Now you collaborated with her on the song "Stronger," I believe.
That is correct. Your memory is crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now that was like an upbeat type of song.
Exactly.
You know, it's like I feel when I listen to that song, I could do exercise with like aerobics too. Yeah. So how did that came about?
She knows I like to do music like that. I said we're close. We had met at a DJ Chevy event actually, and we just have that energy where we just locked eyes, and she just kind of can read my mind. Like I said, I'm kind of stuck, but she just somehow gets me. I love her. But so she was like, I know you like up tempo music. I got this beat from Samaj Rega. Shout out to him. And she sent me over the beat with her concept, and she was like, write your verse, and then we went over to him and recorded it. And I love that message because it was just about inspirational, not giving up, keep fighting, keep pushing, and keep moving. I love having two black R&B singers, on a record like that, because it's not the common thing. It's almost like, like a black gospel vibe in a way. Right. Very Southwest, but.
Nice. Yeah, definitely, go listen to that song, Stronger. Definitely if you feel like exercising, aerobics, or just go to the gym, running on the treadmill or lifting weights, go listen to that song. For real.
Gets me up,
it's very upbeat, very chill, very upbeat. I'll guarantee you that. Take it from me. I'll listen to it. I know. So, but my next question is, you like the artist in demand, because you be everywhere, like collaborating, and with CD, Wild Youngin, and Shamar, and Chuck G, Tina James, and Mr. Trell. And speaking of Trell, how do y'all two like connected? Because y'all like this, y'all like brothers.
Yeah, that is my brother. He's one of the first people I feel like when I really started stepping out on the scene, like as Barbados, officially, like I was moving around meeting some people, but he's one of the first people who I felt like was like, I want to work with you. I like how you how you navigate. I like what you represent. I feel like we have similar interests, and like for us just meeting and talking and just doing stuff. He does a lot of design and clothes. I was a model at the time. We just worked out, like everything that we did just works out and works intertwined. And it's, like I said, that's just my brother. Like he supports me. He's at every show. He always makes sure he come through. He's always at the studio. He's trying to write. He drops music himself. Like it's just hard to explain how that's really my brother. He just gets me though. But he's crazy. Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to the Super Cool Brother. That song he got, Super Cool. That's my theme song.
That's my vibe. I keep telling him to drop the video for that. I love that song.
Yeah, I love it too.
That song's crazy.
Yes, I actually used that song on one of my intros to my podcast episode. So yeah, check out, listen to Super Cool by Mr. Trell. Very dope song. If you want to feel cool, want to feel super cool, listen to that song in general. Yes. So speaking of collaborations, who's like your favorite people? I know Mr. Trell and Tina James are two of your favorites. Who else is your favorite to collab with?
Honestly, my brother C.D. Younger, he's fun to collaborate with, because I tell him like he's a rapper, but I tell him like he has an emotion to his vocals, and I just feel like it's really unmatched. Like it's really crazy, like the way he like can get on that beat and just has like he can communicate a feeling to me, and I just don't feel like because he's not a singer, but I try to explain to him like you can really communicate an emotion the way you move your voice around, like you're kind of a singer. So I love working with him. His lyric plays crazy. Like I said, I love working with Shamar. His storylines are crazy. I love working with, obviously, Dre Dior. He's a crazy lyricist. His pen game is incredible, especially for, I feel like I said, where there's hip-hop that's dark, he makes hip-hop that I feel like is light and it's uplifting and it's real, and I just feel like that's what we need to hear more of. And I like how when we get on a record together, we bring that 90s R&B, like hip-hop vibe back. So there was some people I really like to work with a lot.
Yeah, shout out to Dre Dior and Shamar. And speaking of Shamar, I did an episode with him on my podcast. So if you want to listen, check it out. Dre Dior, we did a podcast episode. We're going to do one again. And shout out to them with both of their albums Overcast Thoughts, and I think Dre Dior just dropped an album, I think that's the name of it, I believe. But yeah, shout out to those two good brothers. They doing some dope stuff as far as the Pittsburgh hip hop scene. So salute to y'all too, man. Y'all the best. So yeah, and let's talk about you be on the acting tip. Now, first and foremost,
Yeah.
the No Safe Zone, man. I never see a cop dressed like you, man. You had the cop shirt with the jeans and the tin boots. I got arrested by his character. He was a crooked cop on No Safe Zone. I got arrested by him, and I looked at his attire. I'm like, this dude got jeans and Timbs on and a cop shirt with the badge. I'm like, what kind of cop is this?
I was from New York.
Yeah, but I definitely loved doing that scene. I got arrested. I think it was a scene where when we was paying our respects and you came in,
hilarious.
And then I gave you lip, and then I got pulled away. I'm like,
That's
what the hell? Yeah. It was a great movie, great scene between me and you. Now, speaking on acting tip, you also in another movie along with me, Unsung Birds. You the character is Black Adam, and I'm Marvelous Max. And stay tuned, Unsung Birds. The premiere is tonight at the Waterworks, February the 6th. 7 o'clock, and then the after party afterwards at Shorty Sacks at 10 o'clock in McKeesport. So I hope y'all come out and enjoy the vibes, enjoy the music. So I hope y'all come out. So let's talk about that. How did so why did you call your character Black Adam?
Initially, everything was going to be, everybody had names that were double alliteration.
Yeah.
And so initially, I think my name was Adam Africa. And then since my name was Barbados Black, I think when everybody was like, well, everybody's name can't be double alliteration. So I think now it's just changed my name to Black Adam. Everybody was like, you're just Black Adam. And I think it just fits the character, to be honest.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Now, he just dropped a song, a video. Can you tell the listeners what's the name of that song?
Give Me to You.
Yeah, definitely. Go check that out. It's available on YouTube. I watched it. It's a dope video, very sexy, very sensual video. Barbados and the leading lady doing their thing in that song.
Yeah, I love this song.
Yes. And speaking of, you are very, your stage presence when you're on stage is very dope, very animated. You get the crowd hype. I was watching a footage of your performance at the Rock Till Morning not too long ago, and you definitely got the crowd hype and, with your vibes. Now, you mentioned that you was taking dance lessons at Level Up Studios, correct? So are you still doing that? If so, how's that going for you?
It was actually going well. Like, I tell people, like, I'm really good at, like, I always tell people, like, I'm more of an interpretive dancer. Like, I love Solange.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched a Solange video, like, you can just put a camera up and she can just move around, like the studio, her room by herself. And I'm really inspired by that. I allow myself to be more of, like, an instrument and more of just a piece of, like, fabric. When the music comes on, I tell people I try not to really think about it. I try to more so just zone out, and whatever I feel I want to do, I just allow myself to do when the music comes on, because it gives people the other permission to do the same thing. Like, it's not about being coordinated. It's not about being like the best to me dancer. It's more about being the best like mover and just having fun and expressing the song. But the reason why I like the choreography is because it gives me more of a repertoire of moves to pull from and more of like ability to have sharper moves. So I can have choreo here and there, but I really like to just have fun with it. So that's why I like having a blend a little bit of both.
Yeah, nice, yes. Yes, and you definitely showcase your dance moves in the video, and also
I appreciate that.
No doubt, good brother. And also where we did scenes for the Unsung Birds, I level up your moves, so you was very sensual. Me, I ain't no dancer. I'm more when I perform, I'm more like a balladeer type of dude. It's because of my voice. That's just me, But yeah, your dance moves is top notch in my opinion.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No doubt. So do you think about doing dance lessons again, or do you just want to take a break?
I want to keep doing dance lessons because, like I said, a lot of the music I do involves dance, and I love doing the dance lessons. Like I said, I'm always dancing, I'm always practicing. That's why I'm always in the gym. I'm always trying to move around. So I want to keep doing my dance lessons and everything. I just have to make sure. The thing that's hard for me is having time in my schedule.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm always having something to do, and then even on the day of I'll have something to do. Like, somebody will text me like, hey, can you also do this today? And I'll be like, oh, so my personal life on top of my business life. So it's just trying to find time in my schedule to do everything these days. It's just trying to, like, It's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But you balance it well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do. I do like to be busy. I will admit that. I'm one of those people who really like to be busy. I hate not having anything to do.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I agree with that.
I feel like not having anything to do means you're not making any money. So
Right, yeah, for sure.
I'd rather be doing stuff.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I hate. I'm the same way. I hate being bored. I hate not having nothing to do. I want to do something. I need to do something.
Yes.
I need to be busy. You know, because if I don't be busy, I'm gonna be bored. Like.
Facts.
You know, so yeah, I'm with you on that 100%, good brother. Now, my next question is, do you see the R&B scene growing in the years to come here?
Yeah, actually, there's a big R&B scene here. I think the one thing about it is a lot of things is pockets, and it's like about who you know. I'm kind of lucky because, like you said, I'm not just an artist. I'm not just a singer. I'm not just a rapper. I also do artwork for people. And I also did modeling. So I get to see a little bit of every scene. So even if I'm not singing here, I'll see, oh, this place over here has a bunch of singers, and this place is busy with these singers. So there's a lot of different places that have everything, but I do see everything starting to become a bit more centralized as R&B. I think we're all starting to kind of come together. Like there is an R&B, like I said, resurgence, but there has been a big R&B scene. It's just a lot of things is like it's in pockets. It's kind of secretive. It's crazy.
Yeah. I never really thought of it that way. I kind of agree with that. But I think R&B in Pittsburgh is going to come back in a big way because you got a lot of dope R&B singers such as yourself. Shout out to myself, Iris Soul.
Big shout out to you.
Yeah,
that comedy is crazy.
Oh yeah, and shout out to Mario, the founder of Level Up Studios, who wrote that for me. Also,
he wrote that. His pen's crazy.
Yeah, he wrote that for me. Shout out to him.
Crazy for them.
Yes, no doubt. And shout out to Kevin Lee, who produced the beat, and shout out to this brother right here, who created the album cover. If you check out the album cover, it's me on the phone with the lady in bed. 2 thumbs up right there. 2 thumbs up. So, like I said, if you want to have a dope cover art with colorful imagery, check this man out.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? He's the man. He does his thing. He don't take no BS when it comes to, doing the album art, single cover art, whatever. He is the man. So, yes. Shout out to Iris Soul, Sherelle Unique, Landon, T. Himes, Jasmine Leonard, everybody that's doing R&B in the city. Shout out to y'all because y'all bringing it back in a huge way, and keep on blessing those vocals that we need to hear. Yes, indeed. So, where do you see yourself in the years to come?
Like I said, right now I'm about to start teaching. So I'm about to start doing some of that. I'm still working on paintings. It's hard for me to explain because the stuff that I always think that I'll be doing, I never thought I'd be doing. So it's like I never thought I'd be doing a mural at like a big building. I never thought I'd start painting again. So it's like I always tell people I try not to say that because I feel like it lets me limit myself. I try to let myself be open. I take the opportunities as they come because every opportunity that comes to me I feel like was meant for me, and the things that aren't will fall away. So I just attract the right things to me. So I don't know specifically what I'll be doing, but I know it'll be the right things that I'm supposed to be doing.
Nice. And speaking of your songs, there's a couple of songs I like. There's one song in particular, Better.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love that song. And I remember, I think I tagged it on Facebook on a stat like a couple years back or a couple of months back. And you were surprised that I liked that song.
Yes, every time you said it surprises me.
I just love the whole vibe to the song.
I appreciate it.
And there was another song that you did called Novocaine. Now speaking of Novocaine, how did that came about? What made you name your song that title, Novocaine?
When I write songs, a lot of times I say the beat kind of dictates how I feel because I don't like to write a lot of my songs down. I put the beat on and then I see how I feel like the beat speaks to me, and I just think that's just how I felt that day. Like literally the lyrics are like, I don't feel no pain. That's that Novocaine. So it's just like Novocaine is spent to numb the pain, to take the pain away. And a lot of times I feel like I get immune to being like irritated. I get immune to the like not abuse like that, but like critiques from critics, or I get immune to like any negativity. You know what I mean? And I just internalize it and just block it out. So it's kind of like that's just kind of what I wanted it to mean. Like I don't feel it. I'm just kind of immune to it.
Okay. And with your latest single, is that going to be on the upcoming album of yours?
I haven't decided if it's going to be on the album or not, because me and my team have been trying to decide if I want to either what I'm supposed to be doing is I was working on an R&B album that was supposed to be out last year, but I was working with my engineer, and we have like half of that done, but then we had to take a break on that because I was working with a new engineer. So now I have new engineer, I have new writers.
Okay.
I'm working with some new people. I can't say just yet.
Okay.
But I'm working with some new people on the album, so I'll have more ballads coming from, because the hardest thing for me, honestly, is to do ballads, and it's not because I don't like ballads. I really love doing ballads, but because, like I said, I'm not always the most sensitive person, it's hard for me to sometimes to communicate those words in a way that's not straightforward. Like me as a person, I'm very straightforward.
Yeah.
But songs, I feel like you can be straightforward, but I feel like there's an artful way to say certain things. And for me to say some of those things, I like to work with somebody else who can help bring those out of me and help me bring those things out the way that I feel like they're meant to be heard. You know what I mean? And so for those reasons, I like to work with my vocal coach when I do those songs. I like to work with my correct engineer, because like I really want to have that authentic sound. Like when I sing those songs, that they mean a lot to me. Like those ballads that I have on my album, the ones that I'm starting to perform, the ones that I'll be performing in March at the show coming pretty soon. Okay. These songs mean a lot to me. Like these are the songs that have like basically like no auto-tune. These are those piano ballads. These are those classic like R&B records that I feel like we're really missing, like those Joe types of records. Those those real power ballads. And when I do these types of records, I really want it to really translate a certain way. So I just have to get my team together, and we'll be doing that. So I don't know if you guys want to be on that particular album, just because what I feel like that represents is more like a dance vibe, and I do still want those there, but I just don't know if I want to introduce that first or if I want to go with the more ballad direction first, just because I want to really give people that side of me as well.
Okay, yeah. Well said. And you speaking of ballads, do you have any favorite songs that are ballads that you like?
By artists in general?
Yeah, by artists in general, yes.
Oh, there's a bunch, and I bet you I can't think of any of them right now. But it's just like the way I like ballads, like Break of Dawn, Michael Jackson. I don't know if we can consider that like a ballad, but like the way he sings that song, it's like very slow. It's very like emotional. I like that song, like he builds the emotion slowly, like over the course of that song, and that's what I really like about ballads. Like obviously anything like Whitney Houston, like Saving All My Love for You, I think is like a crazy song, because it's another song where I feel like ballads have a way of like building up the emotion, and I just think any of those like big powerhouse vocals are like, those are usually my favorite types of ballads.
Yeah, no doubt, yes. I think that's what's missing in today's music is the ballads. You know, there's not a lot of love songs, especially on the radio. You know, I'm a huge, I love ballads. I love singing ballads like you said, Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, Lionel Richie, the Commodores, even the pop ballads, you know, you know, that's what's missing in today's R&B and in today's music in general. We need to bring those ballads back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hear you singing those ballads.
I appreciate it.
No doubt, good brother, no doubt. Now, when you on the stage, I know you be singing Joe's All the Things Your Man Won't Do. Do you like singing other cover songs besides Joe? Yeah,
I've actually started doing other ones. Most recently, actually at the show you were just talking about, I've recently started doing Deja Vu by Beyonce, just because I like to do songs that people don't always expect me to do. I like to flip it on them sometimes. A lot of times you don't expect the male to hear those types of songs, or even hear a male with a deep voice sing those songs. And I kind of like to do that to subvert people's expectations and let people hear how my voice actually sounds. So I do a lot of different covers. Like I'm always doing covers, especially like on stage. But I just feel like that one is the one that I feel like people know. So I like to start with that one. But this year you'll be hearing a bunch of different covers. Like if you go to, especially if you're on my Instagram, I'm dropping covers all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I will be looking forward to that. So before we conclude this interview, can you tell the listeners and the followers where they can find you at and follow you at?
Sure. Y'all can find me everywhere at Barbados Black, especially on YouTube. I'm always on YouTube. YouTube family is steadily growing, so join my Space Cadets over on YouTube. You can follow me on Spotify, Instagram, everywhere Barbados Black. Facebook is where I be at too. If you're looking for me, Barbados Black everywhere.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Facebook, Malik Long. Instagram, Cool Malik 82. I also have a page for my podcast, The Cool Podcast with the Coolbrother on Facebook. So also I got an email address, thecoolpodcast@ll.com. And if you want to be a guest on my podcast, just hit me up via inbox on those pages, or just email me and we can set it up and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Good brother, baritone brother, Barbados Black. It was a pleasure having you on for the second time. If you want to come back for the third time, 3 times the charm, just let me know, good brother.
Nice,
we can do it.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes. And on that note, peace, love, light, respect to you all. Peace, one love.
Yo.
Yes.